going on, Scotty?
Today we're going to speak to check out Penny Lane. Can't get Penny Lane in there.
She's hiding behind the camera.
Mrs. Vagabond. We're going to speak to
your worst nightmare, isn't it?
Mr. Jason Grant, celebrity stylist, designer, author to the stars, and current resident of Byron Shire.
Yes, vegan activist.
And a vegan activist. Yeah, you're a vegan activist. I've heard.
Activist is like an angry word. I'm just
Anti-ScoMo. I've seen some anti-ScoMo posts.
So I
no, I'm not anti-ScoMo. I'm just anti
Assholes.
Yeah.
We're going to shoot the film.
As a creative person, I am constantly evolving and learning new things. I'm not scared of that.
So for a young stylist or somebody who's in a job who really would like to get out of that job to become a creative stylist, what would you say to them? How would you, because for some people who are already in a job, to leave it is the risk factor, to get to the dream, and for the young kid, how do they get there? Where's a good starting point?
I guess for me the best way of learning is doing. So if you want to do something, you should actually just do it. And I guess I'm always learning, so I have relinquished that I'm not good at everything. I'm good at lots of things, but I'm not good at everything. So I'm always very keen on research, learning, asking people questions. I'm never afraid of asking someone how to do something because I like to be a sponge and absorb knowledge and information, and surrounding myself with interesting people that have knowledge of things that I don't always understand is like really important. But best way of learning is doing it.
Starting.
You see, I think that the problem is a lot of people are too afraid to start, so it's actually starting. And I guess it's hard because you kind of have to dive in, and I guess not everyone is a risk taker.
That's the element of. So the young Jason Grant. So you went to school in Tassie.
Predominantly most of my schooling and high schooling was in Victoria.
Right. And at what age? Like the 18-year-old Jason Grant. What was he up to?
I was kind of very quiet and very shy.
And when did this quiet, shy guy discover what he was going to be?
I kind of fell into magazines. It all kind of. For me, the birth of my ultimate, what I've been doing is, I guess, when I published my first book with Heidi Grant, and that was like a moment where I could share my signature style. And I guess that was the real beginning.
How long ago was that?
I think that my first book came out 7 years ago. And that was just like the birth of the brand, where I guess the book was all about my style and my point of view. And I think I'm saying I guess a lot.
We can always edit them out. I'll just add in more. I guess.
I guess, for want of a better word, sharing a book that's all about my style was the beginning of brand Mr. Jason Grant. And I guess being really clear about knowing what I like, what is on brand, what is not on brand, and having a very clear focus is important as well.
Do you have brothers or sisters?
One sister.
What does she do?
She's a mum, and she lives in rural Victoria.
Does she have creative flair, design? Does she share any of your desires for that?
No.
So this is something that you did. And when did you move to Sydney?
I moved to Sydney because I was working on Inside Out magazine in Melbourne as their Melbourne contributing editor, and the editor of Real Living magazine offered me the opportunity to move to Sydney to be the style director of the magazine.
Same magazine?
Yeah, so Real Living magazine, so it was like a different magazine. And I did that for a year, but I kind of didn't enjoy working full-time for the magazine. So then shortly after that, I went back to being freelance, and that's when things like my signature paint collection with Mirabond, that manifested, and then my first book. So again, that kind of taking the plunge into going back into freelance. And I guess with like doing things like books and paints and tiles, I guess I'm a fan of the kind of mentality. If you don't make something happen, it's not going to happen. So, manifesting those things and asking. If you don't ask a question, the answer's always going to be no.
Yeah. Sally always says, if you ask the right question, you get the right answer. Something along those lines. So, many people are. I remember when I got a corporate job, and it was a proper job. When you get into an industry, everyone uses acronyms.
Yeah.
But no one wants to say the full fucking words. And people would say, we've got to get CapEx for the EBITDA. And I would need to go and Google CapEx and EBITDA. I thought, what the fuck do these things mean?
Yeah. What did we do before Google, right?
You would have just fucking... How many people sit quietly and don't say anything?
Yeah.
It took me like a day to work out what these fucking things meant. I think how many people just went along with it. I remember when Sally got her first job in design, she came home with lots of... One that I never forget was FF&E.
Oh, yeah.
That was you got to get FF&E. And I still say it to this day. When she turns the lights down in the house, I goes, that's FF&E. Something's happened. Your mates you grew up with in Tassie, still connect with them?
No, because I kind of moved from there at a young age, so I haven't really stayed in touch with anyone there. I mean, I have lifelong friends from Melbourne. I mean, for me, it's kind of like a mystical kind of memory of living in Tassie. I mean, we kind of walked through the bush to get to school, barefoot, of course.
Any snakes?
Probably. And then, just that kind of living in nature, and I guess that's kind of still an intrinsic part of...
You on a farm or something, was it?
No, just on the edge of town.
What?
Yeah. It's probably like all houses now.
Yeah. How did you get to Byron? How long has that been?
I've been here for 3 years now.
Same as me?
Yeah.
And why?
Well, I guess...
Or why?
The first time I ever came to Byron was to shoot some content for my second book. And my friends Kim and Stephen, they own the Atlantic, a hotel in town.
Very posh, very nice.
And we shot a whole lot of stuff there, and I distinctly recall meeting them for the first time and walking into their property, and I was like, I'm going to move to Byron. So I eventually did. The kind of 2 years before actually moving, I kind of was here a lot, so I think people kind of were confused as to where I lived. But I don't know, there's just the connection to me, the bush, the beach, nature, being in a smaller town, I guess. Living in a big city like Sydney, working in magazines and living the high life.
Here's the thing,
it's exhausting.
It's not that high, is it?
No.
It's quite low.
Yeah.
When you remove yourself from it and look back, you think, fuck.
Yeah.
What was it doing?
Where were we?
Redefining fabulous.
Oh yeah, I guess I moved away from the city, so to minimise things, and I guess socially distancing before it was a thing.
Getting ahead of the curve.
Yeah, I guess, valuing the people that are around me, the things that I do, the things I don't have to do, setting my own kind of schedule, and I guess, again, using that phrase, living my best creative life. I mean, in Bondi, I lived in a small apartment for a long time, and I guess having access to open spaces up here and living in a space that at home is kind of part studio, part home, so I guess I get to be creative.
That's good, that.
Yeah.
That's a good thing up here. People do have these live workplaces.
Yeah.
That where we are filming, this is Habitat, and it is like a live workspace. You live upstairs, walk downstairs. I always wanted to have like a cafe or a pub or a factory where I could live upstairs and be downstairs working.
Yeah, so I always like the idea of living above a shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You never go hungry. So tell us like an average day in the life of Mr. Jason Grant in Byron Bay. How does it roll?
A mixture of meetings, and I guess these days they can be face-to-face or Zoom chats. I guess I work across, projects, Brisbane, Palm Beach, Byron, Sydney. I guess I am not limited via location, which is a perk of being in Byron as well. It could be a photo shoot, it could be writing, it could be a mixture of things on site for a cafe or a commercial or residential space. I'm working on a couple of different commercial and residential spaces at the moment. Yeah.
How often do you go to the beach?
Pretty much every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's something I haven't quite done yet.
I'm pretty lucky that it's pretty close by.
Yeah.
I would say on average probably every second day.
Yeah.
And generally I kind of like to just unwind at the end of the workday, and it's a nice way of winding down.
Take a bottle of wine?
Sometimes.
How often do you get to the beach, darling?
Every day.
Are you?
Yeah.
Young too.
Yeah.
So what's next for Jason Grant? Where's you're going to change parts of your web look?
Yeah, I guess I'm always constantly evolving. Got a couple of new platforms and projects that will launch soon. I guess in the next little while, I do a paint collection with Mirabon, so I have 10 new colours that we are launching in a couple of weeks. And then next month I have a new collection of tiles with Lorenzo tiles, and we're adding some new colours and additional shades of, I guess, inspired by nature colours to that as well.
You know, there's 3 Lorenzos I know. One, I used to work for them and sell coffee, so it was D.I. Lorenzo.
Oh yeah.
Then it was D.E. Lorenzo here.
Oh yeah.
Here. And then, what's this one?
At Di Lorenzo Tiles. It's a very
Tiles?
nice business of Italian sisters.
Yeah.
And growing up, my best friend was Italian, so I've always wanted to be Italian. So if you can't be Italian, work with it.
That's the way I really connected with Italians when I worked with them.
Yeah.
I remember I made them the first bowl of spaghetti and they were really concerned, but very polite, and they ate it.
Great.
But I put everything in there, like 25 ingredients, lots of veggies, lots of this, and they're looking at it going,
Too many
and like
things.
4 or 5 years later they said, remember that bowl of pasta the other day? Yeah, he said, look, it was nice because you made it. He said, but too much. Because just pasta with a nice sauce, a bit of cheese, whatever, that's it.
Love it.
I fucking poured everything in. You know, it's
The whole jar.
coming from where I come from, you get stews or soups.
Yeah.
Everything's in this. You eat from the pot, and the pot's full of goodness, but it's a flavour as opposed to lots of flavours.
Yeah.
Give us a question, Dylan.
What's a weird little habit that you do every day that you don't like to tell everyone, but it might be like you eat Vegemite by the spoonful? Something
I
a
eat
bit
peanut
strange.
butter out of the jar with a spoon.
How do you deal with it? With the stickiness of it?
No, it's just all about the portion control. I'm actually really lucky because my very good friends have a very successful business in Byron called Byron Bay Peanut Butter. So I always have a good...
Tim, what's his
James.
James.
I have a good
I don't know if
supply
I met James.
I think you have. I always have a good supply of peanut butter. But back to the question, weird things that I do every day. I guess not everyone really would know, but I'm pretty obsessive compulsive. So I do tend to double, triple check certain things multiple times.
OCD.
OCD.
Yeah.
I used to do that when
Another
I was
acronym
stoned.
for you.
I would have my car keys in my hand and walk around looking for my car keys, but
Oh yeah,
because
or
I was stoned.
Or talking on the phone going, where's my phone?
I hate that sort of shit. Do you do that shit, Dylan?
What?
Does that happen when you're 19?
What?
You forget stuff, but you're actually holding on to it?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh.
I think it's just like a overactive mind where you're focusing on certain things, and things like where your keys, wallet, phone are actually not particularly important most of the time until you actually need to find them. So I think it's about how your brain prioritizes information. I'm constantly looking for things all the time as well.
During coronavirus, sorry, I just to get a flat arse here, this is quite hard. During coronavirus, did you see an uptick in your business? Did it flatten? Did it drop off?
I guess I'm really lucky. There was a few large projects that kind of evaporated, but I guess a lot of what I do can be done solo. Things can be sourced online, things can be sent to my studio for me to photograph. We pulled together the new paint colors during isolation and worked on that. I created all the campaign images for those myself, where I photographed and produced and styled those shoots. I guess I just saw it as an opportunity to step up and evolve, and I did work on one kind of large project that you'll have to have watched this space with, but that will launch probably in the next month. It's all about scheduling things. Don't want to release too many new things all in the 1 week.
Yeah. And these are things that you're releasing or someone else is releasing and you've consulted?
I'm just working on a new platform that will be quite exciting.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, intrigue. How many minutes are you up to, Dylan?
We're up to 22 minutes.
See, I told you.
What did you say?
Fast.
What did you say?
Well, I said 15, so we're pretty good.
Yeah. I got a question. What's your relationship with social media? Like, what's your thoughts on social media?
I guess social media is very interesting, and I am one of those people that I do have a large following. I don't ever really take it very seriously, and I guess to me, what I do post and what I don't post, I'm very clear about. For me, it's a work tool, so I don't particularly post, oh, I'm having coffee with this person, or I'm having dinner with this person, like those kind of private moments. I kind of like to be engaged, so I kind of don't really want to be looking at my phone when I would rather be looking at someone I'm talking to. And I guess I'm very focused in terms of what is brand Mr. Jason Grant for Instagram. So, I share the kind of things that I'm working on, the day-to-day of my work life, but you don't really see my social private life. And I think being defined with that makes it really clear. Yeah.
And what's your relationship with social media, Dylan?
Yeah. Same here.
It's all and also no one really we have to realize that everything that everyone posts on Instagram is edited and considered. It's quite often not inaccurate, but it's always the better version of something.
I would like someone to start all the pictures people take that they don't post. I want to start on Instagram. That's all the shit that no one does.
Outtakes.
Yeah. The 100 pictures that someone took to get the perfect one.
The blurred ones where everyone's like, yeah, that could be fun. There you go.
But they've got to get access to the content. They probably wouldn't allow it. They'd fucking delete it. Anything else? What else we talking about?
I don't know.
Have we missed anything?
Don't think so. It's cold sitting still.
That's about one coming here. I just hope we get the right sound. Will the sound be good?
Sound will be good.
Sound will be good.
Yeah.
Do you exercise? What's your exercise routine?
I'm pretty active with work. I don't really sit still for very often, and I'm always doing something, walking somewhere, doing a big walk a couple of times a week with friends. I'm not really a fan of the gym. I'm kind of more into a hike or a walk or trying to surf, which I'm not very good at.
Sharp.
Or stand-up paddleboarding, which I could also be doing some more of. So I kind of like exercise that has a purpose as opposed to being like a battery chicken in a cage.
I used to be like a regular gym person, but since Corona, I've kind of developed my little outdoor routine.
Yeah.
And I quite enjoy the fresh air. Well, for me, everything runs a period and I get bored and I change it up again. So I was F45 for 2 years. Now I've done Scott 45.
Scott 45.
It's my little fucking made-up thing with my soccer.
Patent that.
Yeah. Or Scott 46 or 25, depends.
Yeah.
You can always give up when there's fucking no one there pushing you along to get it done. And tonight's Thursday night soccer night.
True.
2 hours of soccer at Cabin Man.
Yeah, social exercise is good, sports that are interactive. Yeah.
Are you vegan?
I like to say plant-based, and I predominantly am vegan, I guess, if you want to be particular, but I guess sometimes I might sneak a little croissant, but I definitely don't eat meat. Yeah. And dairy is pretty much off the table as well. But then, I think when you're being really stringent, I guess, I don't know, I'm kind of flexible, but also I have parameters about that I just don't eat meat anymore.
How long has that been and why was that?
It would be getting close to 2 years. I mean, for a long time I was never very good at cooking red meat at home, so I would only ever eat that out. And then it kind of wound down to just eating chicken, and now, primarily plant-based.
Do you ever get a hankering just to have a steak?
I think when you don't eat something, you don't miss it. So I think if I was probably to have a steak, then I might have steak for the next 10 days. But no, I don't really miss that at all.
See, some days we try and do plant-based 4 or 5 days a week.
Yeah.
Some days I just if I can go like right now, I'm probably 6 weeks since I've had a steak. and I just want a salted piece of red meat. I went looking for one the other day in the shop, but I couldn't see one that looked appealing, so I didn't buy it.
Yeah.
But even like now, I'm saying I've got saliva coming out the back of my mouth, like Homer Simpson. So you were born a meat eater?
I guess so, because I think we're like, told what to do, and then it's when you get to a point where you want to do your own thinking. I guess as a child, I can remember being kind of traumatized about meat and like being exposed to like people eating kangaroo or venison or rabbit. I always just found that intrinsically kind of horrible to eat cute animals. But then also now as an adult, it's like, all animals have value, and yeah.
I was talking to one of the guys that works with us. He's a Hindu.
Oh yeah.
So they don't eat beef,
Yeah.
but they do drink the milk.
Okay.
Whereas me, I won't take the milk, but I will eat the beef.
Yeah, I've
So
long
two
not been
opposites.
I've been
Fan of dairy?
Yeah, not a fan of dairy for a long time.
It's fucking in everything.
Yeah. It is. That's the thing, and
It's hidden under so many. People think I don't eat dairy, but if you actually looked and read what you're eating, whether it's in a packet or from a shop, whatever, it's fucking there. I bought a chicken sandwich the other day, and it was filled with blue cheese, and the blue cheese wasn't on the bloody thing. But I was so hungry, I took a few bites of it, but I knew I was going to pay for that dairy. Mine's just casein intolerance.
Yeah. I mean, I also generally try not to eat packaged food. I like to know what I'm eating, so with the, lots of course, fruit and vegetables, but, and also we're at Habitat, where I worked on one of the spaces here, Vagabond, which is one of the best places to eat in town because it's all plant-based primarily, and so I kind of I guess it's selective about where I like to eat and what I like to eat as well. And I mean, it's about eating quality food regardless of what the category of food is. It's just eating better things that are better for you.
So here's a few things: tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Beer or wine?
It depends on the occasion. I think both have their benefits. I do like a ice cold beer in summer, but also I'm quite partial to a crisp rosé.
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't mention my two other options, which would be a classic gin and tonic.
I was going to go gin or whiskey.
Yeah, thanks to my friends at Brookies. I do gin and tonic is probably my all-time favorite classic drink, but I do love a margarita in summer. Yeah,
I had 2 margaritas the other day and I got well pissed. Because I drank them with beer, they just go away too quick.
They are very easy to drink, especially poolside.
Well, we're building a pool at the minute.
Oh, great.
And someone did say is, wait till you start drinking by the pool.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. I probably will have a drink.
Yeah.
Float around. Sometimes we see these nice magazine shots of like the pool inside the bar in the pool, and people are just fucking floating around. I'm going to do that with my kids.
Great.
Baby chinos. Sparkling or still water? What's your thing?
Sparkling always.
Give us the water that kind of little bit of something. Je ne sais quoi. That's what I think. Sparkling with a squeeze of lime.
Yeah, just a bit. It's fancy without being fancy, but yeah.
Put soda stream on the
Good to sparkle all the time.
Anything else you want to add? We can cut down.
No, what's your close it up, wrap it up?
Oh, we just
question?
stop.
All right.
Oh no, so he already asked it. So the one where he say, what was your, what's the weird thing?
Okay.
Put that at the end of it.
Right. Finish with the weird thing.
So we'll try another weird one. See if we get the same answer.
I do like to wear socks with sandals at home.
Sandals?
But I think that's become a look as well, so I don't think that's particularly weird or strange or
You're becoming a hipster now. I've seen them. The slide on. I call them the European slip-on sandals.
Yeah.
With the surfer socks.
Well, for me, it's all about comfort. Yeah.
So those Crocs? Remember the Crocs?
I am familiar, but I've never owned a pair of Crocs.
I had a bright orange pair. So I ended up chucking them, but fuck, they were comfortable.
Yeah.
They were like properly comfortable shoes. Like a posh clog. So we give it a U.
I don't know whether I'm familiar with that. I can do that.
Yeah,
You.
Hashtag Mr. Jason Grant.